How to plan your overland route. For some people, it's really simple. They just leave and they explore. For others who like a little more organization, like myself, they like to plan a route. And that's what I'm going to go over in this video. How do you know where to go? Where do I find the trails? What about camping? This video is going to show the process that I go through when I'm planning my trips. The first stage for me isn't actually planning, it's inspiration. It's picking which state I want to go to, or which area of the country I want to go to. And the United States is a fantastic country for overlanding because pretty much every single state has amazing scenery and great trails, except Ohio. The landscape in this country varies so much from region to region, and even in some states like Colorado and Utah, you can go 50 miles and have completely different scenery. For inspiration, I personally watch YouTube, so I watch a ton of videos throughout the year on various channels. And I'm assuming since you're here watching this video, you probably do too, and you may want to subscribe to this channel. Instagram's another great place to check out for inspiration. You got all these Facebook groups that people post up their weekly adventures from all across the country every single day. It's a fantastic place to look and you can see what they're up to and get ideas of places to go. What I do once I have an idea of a state or a general area in the United States that I want to go visit is I'll make a list of the must-see places that are in that area. And to get a nice visual representation of where they are, how close together they are, I put them all on Gaia Maps. I'll drop little pins on the map screen so I can see them all. But I'll talk more about Gaia later. TripAdvisor, guidebooks, and things like these benchmark atlases are great for getting an idea of the touristy things to see in a region. And there's nothing wrong with seeing those touristy things. I've actually found some great places to visit, things like a gold mine in Colorado, through a guidebook or through TripAdvisor. But I personally, I'm going more for the natural beauty of an area, and for that, I use Google Explore. Google Explore can be found through Google Maps. When you pull it up, there's a little tab in the bottom right corner of the screen, so I just click on that and it pops up, and it has some of the photospheres from just the general area you've got up. So all I do is I'll just scroll across the state, and I'll look at these little photospheres, I'll find the interesting, the beautiful ones, and I'll just make a list of places I want to go visit. It's using Google Explore that I found things like the Wolf Sanctuary in Colorado, some really cool mining structures that I went and visited in Colorado. I found things like the trains, the abandoned locomotives in Maine, and a lot of just the naturally beautiful areas that I've visited. The next stage for me involves finding the trails to connect all of those places that I want to visit, and there are three main tools that I use for that. The first one's the easiest, and those are the pre-recorded or pre-planned routes that someone else has created. They're available on the internet, and I actually have a long list of them on my website at revereoverland.com/routes. Some of them are paid, some of them are free, but all the ones I have on my website are multi-day. They may be looping around a state, they may be crossing a state, or crossing several states. Something I've noticed is a big misconception when it comes to these multi-day or cross-state routes, and that's that people think you have to do the whole thing. I've seen it with the Kentucky Adventure Tour when I've recommended to people. It takes about 5 days to complete the whole loop. I have people say, well, I don't want to do a 5-day trip. I just want to do a 1-day or 2-day, that kind of thing. And you don't have to. You can do as much of that as you want. You can pick the best parts of it and then go somewhere else. For example, last summer when we went to Utah, I created a lot of the route myself, but I connected parts of it together using things like Lifestyle Overland's Uncharted Rocky Trail. I used little bits of the Utah Traverse, little parts of the Utah Backcountry Discovery Route. I took parts that interested me. Mixed in with those longer multi-day routes, I can also throw in a few side trails that I get from websites like alltrails.com. And Alltrails is great because it has like single day trips, and usually they can be a little more challenging, and it'll give you an indication of what to expect. You can get an idea of trail conditions, how tough it's going to be, and it's nice for when you want to do something a little more technical. Now I used Alltrails to get a bunch of trails around Moab last year. Things like Parker Pass I got from Alltrails. In Colorado, Medno Pass, Imogene Pass, got all those from alltrails.com. The second tool I use are these benchmark atlases. These atlases are great because they show you unpaved and high clearance roads across the states, and it's great for connecting places together. Usually I like to use these in conjunction with Google as well. You know, it's nice to see what the landscape looks like beforehand, so I'll use satellite images and maybe some of the photospheres that people have uploaded just to check it out. I also make sure to take these with me. These are really important to go with me for several reasons. First of all, you may want to change your route on the fly, so it's nice to look at this and get an idea of where you can go and maybe put together some more unpaved trails between two different places. And the second reason, probably more importantly, is technology can let you down. Usually I do navigate with my iPad, but I have in the past forgotten to download tracks for certain areas or maps for certain areas, so it was a great backup to have these in the vehicle. The final tool that I use is Gaia GPS, specifically with the premium membership ship. There are multiple map layers that you can use to assist you in finding routes between one place and the other. One of the best layers you can access on Gaia Premium is the Nat Geo Illustrated layer. This shows pretty much everything you'd want to know about an area. It has the famous scenic byways like the Alpine Loop clearly marked on the map, and in lots of areas they've also added labels with key information, so you've got things like road closures and land use restrictions. Now, unfortunately, the Nat Geo layer is only available in select geographically or culturally significant places in the country, so you don't find it everywhere. Another useful layer is the US Forest Service map, which is available for all of the national forests in the United States. It also has the option to add the motor vehicle use layer. The best thing about Gaia is no matter which layer you use, anything that you plan on a computer or on your iPad or phone gets synced across all of the devices because it uses the cloud. So what I do is I'll sit at my computer that's over there, and I do everything on the computer, like all of my route planning, all of the track planning on the computer, adds all the waypoints on the computer, just because it's a lot easier to do on there. And then once I save it, just with this connected to the internet, it will automatically sync across to this and my phone. With Gaia Premium, you can also download the maps and the layers to your iPad or to your phone so that you have those available with you while you're out on the trails. You don't have to have an internet connection in order to access those. If Gaia is something that you're interested in getting, I do have some more screenshots and some more information on it at revereoverland.com/Gaia, and also have a link on there to get you a discount. You can get up to 52% off. Camping is one of those things that while I do a lot of preparation for, I don't plan myself a certain itinerary. I don't specify where I'm going to camp at certain times, because I found when I do that, I end up not enjoying the trip as much. I end up rushing to get to that certain place at a certain time, and I may end up missing things along the way. I like to be able to change my plans and slow down or speed up as and when is necessary. You know, if there's something I'm particularly enjoying, I'll stay there longer. What I do though is I give myself a ton of options beforehand, so I will find cool places to camp before I ever go out there, and I'll drop them all onto Gaia, so I've got one easy place to see them all on one display, and often I end up finding extra places while I'm out there too. One of the best ways I've found to find campsites before you ever go out is to use the website or the app iOverlander. I like to use the map display, and I'll just scroll across the general area that I'll be traveling on, and you view campsites that people have uploaded there, and what I do is I'll click on them, I'll check out the pictures, I'll check out the description. If one of them sounds particularly nice or looks particularly pretty, I'll save it to Gaia. And actually the app on the iPad or on the phone is much better for iOverlander because there's a little link on there. When you press it, it automatically opens that location in Gaia, and all I have to do is click save. Usually what this means is wherever I'm at, I've got a bunch of options saved on my iPad within an hour or two. However, you can find stuff on the way, and that's where Gaia itself comes in useful. I use the public lands layer in Gaia on my iPad to show me where there is either BLM land or Forest Service land around me, and in those places you can usually camp for free anywhere that you can find a suitable camping spot that's not in the middle of a road. Now, sometimes there are restrictions, so I've gone to BLM land before and I've gone to Forest Service land before, and they'll have a sign up that says camping in designated sites only, and usually you just drive around and they'll have a sign up saying like camp here or you can camp over there. So it's really easy to find suitable land in those places. What you're looking for is land that's either highlighted in red or green. Red is land that's managed by BLM, and then green is land that is owned by the Forest Service. And if you're in a national forest, it is important that you use the public lands layer, because the national forest itself can have private land in it, so you are looking specifically for land that is highlighted on the public lands layer in green. My final suggestion for finding places to camp is just to ask the locals. You know, that's one of the great things about not planning somewhere, is you can show up and usually you can go into a gas station and ask if anyone knows a suitable place to camp. And actually some of the best places we've camped have been from places that the locals told us about. Unfortunately, now is not the best time to go traveling, but it is a great time to start planning what you're going to do next. A lot of you got time spent at home, so get your maps out, get on Google, get on Gaia, and plan. Unless you're watching this in 2021, in which case, hopefully things are a little bit better. If you enjoyed the video or you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to see more videos like this, or hopefully some travel videos from this summer, make sure you subscribe to the channel too.